Hey, it's Zach, and I'm back with another episode of Elevate and Accelerate. And today I'm really excited to be talking with somebody who is not only a published author, not only a breathing and mindset coach, not only a high performance squash coach, but also was a professional squash player and ranked number 5 in the world at one point. So just really excited to share her story, hear her insights around breathing and mindset, and what she's been using to really propel to the highest levels in just about every area of her life. So today, help me in welcoming Alexia. Alexia, thank you so much for being with us today.
Absolute pleasure, Zach. So pleased to be here and share.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, as I start with everybody, it's always fascinating to hear from people more of where they come from. And I know, in our conversations, life for you was not easy, really, from the start with asthma and other things. So, kind of catch the listener up, if you would, and kind of what that early life was like for you.
Okay, I was born into a family of European immigrants straight after World War II. I was born, I was the fifth child, so there's four before me. I'm the middle child and then four after me. But I was born, tough times. My parents struggled. They spoke very, very little English. They learned, as they were going when they landed in this new country. I was born, and 10 months after I was born, I was diagnosed with a heart murmur and asthma. So I was pretty much behind the eight ball before I even got going.
Hmm. Yeah, and so I mean, I just had an interview previously with a guy who also had asthma in the UK, and just the struggle. I mean, he was in hospital for years, just spending a time in there. And so, kind of tell us a little bit. I mean, what is life like in dealing with asthma for those of us who have never experienced it before?
Imagine an elephant sitting on your chest,
Hmm.
and you've got a broken straw in your mouth, and you're trying to breathe through that broken straw with an elephant sitting on your chest.
Gosh.
And this constant struggle to get air in and out. And quite a few times, my lips were turning blue, and wasn't getting enough air in. Nothing was happening. And you're there and you're thinking, oh my god, I'm going to die. You just can't get anything in. And it's like everything's being sucked out of you,
Hmm.
and there's a real panic when that happens. And for me, during my early life, that was pretty much it. And I had infections every 6 weeks. I was always on antibiotics. I used to take this revoltingly tasting syrup for the asthma, and then the puffers came along, and I was sucking on this puffer always, constantly. And I kept away from sport. I kept away from any physical activity because it just hurt me too much. It literally in my chest there was a pain. It was like a dagger in the chest all the time.
Wow.
And then you've got because you're breathing like that. Your neck muscles are sore, your shoulder muscles are sore. You're hunched over. You're hunched over. Like you're like in the fetal position a lot of the times because it's like you don't want to take life in,
Hmm.
basically.
Wow. And so you were dealing and battling through this asthma and a total disdain for sports, right? I mean, and obviously because you can't breathe well. So imagine with your heart rate up and lung capacities, it would be very difficult to do that. So how does somebody like that with what you're dealing with end up as a squash player and a damn good one, if I might add?
Thank you. Go
Yeah.
figure, hey? Well,
Yeah.
I did. There's the only one thing I did like is playing cricket, obviously
Hmm.
an Australian pastime, cricket and batting, because I just like the bat and ball. And if it was softball as well, or baseball, as you call it here in America. So I liked batting, but I didn't do anything else because I didn't like the running. But I had a crush on the school captain, and I overheard them say, I play squash. So I went, ha ha, what is this? And I thought that would be a great. And this school captain was like they were a leader. They
Hmm.
were respected. They were admired. They had this air of confidence about them that I didn't have. So I thought if I took up this game, I could challenge them or at least play them in a game of squash. We'd have something in common. And maybe those qualities of that person would rub off to me. That's what I thought. So I went along to the local club and I thought, I liked hitting the ball, didn't like running. And then the manager slash coach saw me and he said, you've got a bit of talent. If you live, breathe, and eat squash, I'll help you become a world champion. And that was it. He
Wow.
planted a seed in my mind, and I just went with it like a duck to water. And this engagement with the bat and ball, it was like I was free. And
Mm,
what I found out upon reflection, that it was my stage. It was a chance and opportunity to be completely myself and to be free. And even though there were struggles with the asthma, training and doing the sprinting and the running, it hurt. But this idea of being the best, being a number one, being a world champion, that overrid everything because
mm,
that was my time. That was my opportunity to shine and to show people that I'm more than my asthma. I am
mm,
talented at something else other than being sick. Because my
mm,
whole life, I've actually never known good health, so to speak. And my whole life has been of ill health, not just the asthma, but the asthma was the first struggle. And then after I won the Australian Junior Open, my sponsor Adidas at the time said, "Congratulations, what would you like?" And I said, "I want to win the British Junior." That
mm.
was the biggest title in the world because, like Wimbledon, was very prestigious. So I went, "I want to go to Britain and win that British Junior. Here's your air ticket." I went,
Wow.
and I was the very, very first squash player and junior squash player in the world to be sponsored by Adidas. The three
Wow.
stripes. When I, had my $5 tracksuit, my $5 squash racket when I started at 13 that my grandmother bought me, like it was my Adidas was all the rage way back then because
Yeah.
everyone was wearing the three stripes at the Olympics. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So I got to be, an Adidas sponsored player and a good player. So I went off to Britain and all by myself at 17 years of age, just before Christmas. So I landed in Britain, the middle of winter, from an Australian summer of like 35 degrees, which is like about like in the 90s. I'm going, oh, what am I doing here? But I was determined because I just knew that I had this talent. And even though people told me, oh, you've got asthma, you can't do this, you can't do that, you'll never get past A grade, you won't really be any good, what's the point? I used to always just say, well, that's what you think. That's what you
Mm,
believe. It's not what I believe. And my coach was my greatest believer in me and my
mm,
mum. The two people and me, again, upon reflection, if just one other person has a belief in you, that can rub off on you, that can actually spark your own belief in you, and the world can be your oyster. So with those two people behind me, I just flourished because they were never ever negative to me. My coach would say, "You can do anything you want." My mum used to say, "Anything and everything is possible. Just do your best. Just do your best. No pressure." And the same from with my coach. No pressure. Just do your best. Do your best, and you can get better. And they were constantly feeding me that, and that's what I believed. And then that that tapped that inner strength in me that I found with playing squash. I found my inner strength by playing squash, by being
mm,
something that I was good at. And then I realized, well, like if I can do it, anyone can do it. So I started to have this philosophy of you can do whatever you want to do. You've just got to do it. Just go out and do it from a very early age. From a very
mm,
early age, and even before I started playing squash, I knew I wanted to help people. From the age of 5, I knew when I saw somebody down the street that was like disabled or struggling or upset or, just didn't look happy, I prayed to God that, please help them, please help them, please help them. And so I knew from a very early age that I wanted to help people. So with my asthma, and with the publicity I was getting with my asthma, because, you're an asthmatic, how could you be a top squash player? I used to get publicity, so I utilized that to say, hey, no matter what you've got and what adversity you have, hey, there's always a way through it. You just gotta, like hang in there. There's always hope. There's always hope. There's always hope. And with that little glimmer, you can get through anything because then that opens up. That opens you up to the possibility. So that's
Mm.
how I got involved in squash.
I love that. And I mean, there's a couple of things you said there I think are really important to point out too. I mean, I talk about story a lot in this podcast, and really there's three primary stories that impact us, right? It's the stories of our past, it's the stories that others tell us, and the stories in our own head, right? And it's some combination of those things that can shape our future. And a lot of it comes down to our own perspective of those stories. So just like you shared, it's you have an opportunity, and I'm sure at some point, and you described, like, you had to make a decision that either you were going to let asthma defeat you, and you were just going to sit by the sidelines and watch asthma control your life, or you were going to decide to do something different. And that mindset shift was made possible, that internal story was made possible because of somebody who believed in you. In this case, it was your coach and your mom. um, and so I would love to hear a little bit more from you of like, of that struggle, right? And that mindset shift. So obviously asthma is always a part of your life, and now you're competing at the top level. You were number one in juniors. You went on to number five in the world. So how was this a daily struggle for you? How was this like, is this something that you had to every morning wake up and shift, or was it, yeah, what did that look like?
Well, I'll go back a little bit because after I won the British Junior, I got very, very sick. I got an infection in England and I came home to hospital because the asthma became uncontrollable. I couldn't
Mm.
manage it with the drugs that I was on. So I went straight into hospital and they put me on what we call steroids, corticosteroids, anti-inflammatories. So that was through the vein. So that my very last year as a junior, I couldn't play squash because I was in and out of hospital. And with the steroids they put me on, I ballooned. I'm only about like 95 pounds. So I doubled my weight with those corticosteroids. And so I had the typical moon face of the steroids, which is nice and round, and I waddled everywhere. And the doctor said to me, "You have to give up squash, otherwise you can die." And that's when I made that decision, Zach. I just went, I was touted as the next Heather Mackay, who is a living legend in squash. She was undefeated in her 17 years of competition. And I was
Wow.
touted as the next Heather Mackay. And I just went, hang on. After the initial shock, I went, hang on, I'm just starting my squash career. No, no, no. I just did not accept what the doctors said. I said, no, I'm just starting. I'm not going to be cut down now. No way. So when you said I made a decision, I can very distinctly remember I did make a decision. I am never, ever going to let asthma defeat me. I'm never going to let anything defeat me because, as well as health adversity, I've had quite a few personal adversity as well. I was sexually molested when I was a young kid by a relative. So that also was a part of my past, which it took me a long time to really even own that. So that was always in the back of my mind, as well as the ill health. But so I made that decision, and for that year, I was still in and out of hospital. I struggled. I literally struggled. I can remember one time just coming out of hospital. My mum asked me, "Do you want me to pick you up?" I said, "No, no, no, it's okay. I'm pretty independent. I always have been." I went, "No, I'll catch the bus home. Catch the bus home." And so I can remember going from the hospital home on the bus, and the bus was pretty full, and I sat down, with my big size, and these ladies came up to me and said to me, "Other than being very fat, is there any reason why you can't stand up and give your seat away to someone else?" I just broke down. Literally, I broke down and cried.
Wow.
And after I composed myself, I said, "Well, actually, yes, because I've just came out of hospital, been really sick. I was actually in intensive care as before I was moved to the general ward." And I said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sick," and their faces dropped. But that was really, really hurtful to me, and I really what the first impression somebody has of you is they don't know what's underneath, what
Mm.
you're going through. And so just by my appearance alone, they made a judgment call. They judged me. So that was pretty harsh. And pretty much that's been happening. Well, when I had asthma, when I was going through juniors, you can't do this, you can't do that. And that's been a theme. I've always been told, even After I came back, I said, "Oh, no, no, you can't come back." But a year and a half, a year, I was still like pretty heavy. But then I slowly got back into training, and I do mean slowly. That puffer was like in my sock, so if I needed it, I would take it, and I had a nebulizer as well, and still on the corticosteroids, but in oral form now. So it was tough because it was painful to play. It was painful to train. On the squash court, you've got to get it on the first bounce or take it on the full. When I was in training, I was getting it on the fifth bounce. That's how slow I was.
Wow.
But I just went, no, I'm going to persevere because I've got talent. I've already proven I'm a world number one. I've already proven that I can win titles. So I went, no, this is. So I just chipped at it, chip, just chipped it away. But I always had the goals in sight. The goals were there. They were motivating me. But I got up every day. Yeah, I had to take medication, like religiously, like I, um, every single day. I was regimented with how I took my medication. I wrote everything down. I had a peak flow meter. I had to take peak flow readings. All I so I wanted to, the doctor wanted me to document everything so we could monitor the asthma, so we could shift the medications. They said I'd grow out of it. You'll grow out of it. You'll grow out of it. Yeah, never grow out of it. But so yeah, it was a struggle. It was a constant struggle because I was never functional. I was never functioning at 100%. I wasn't even functioning at 90%. I had drugs and they had a lot of side effects. So I was functioning, I reckon, between 50 and 60%, and I still
Wow.
achieved. And then I
Wow.
got all the weight off, and I can remember about 2 years after 79, 80, then 81, I was slim, trim, fit, fast, back right into it. I made the quarter final of the Australian Open, my first year back as a senior after juniors and after the 2 year layoff. And I was already ranked top 10 in Australia. And
Wow.
the 82, I went back over to Britain to go back into the British Open, the senior one. And my first year back, was beaten first round every tournament. But I just went, no, it's coming. It's coming. I know it's here. I know it's there. I know it's in me. And every time I lost, I just said, okay, I'm learning something from this. Great. I'm
Mm.
learning something from this. By the time I got to the British Open, I had beaten 3 seeds and got to the quarterfinals, all with my
Wow.
nebulizer and all the drugs. About a
Yeah.
suitcase of drugs in my nebulizer, which I nicknamed Oscar. And I had very, Oscar Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, quite a few. But I
Wow.
just had this relentless drive in me to do what I wanted to do, to achieve what I set myself to do. And yeah, it was very hard because I was still landing myself in and out of hospital all during my squash playing years. It was a constant that I always, whenever I went to a new city, obviously the airport or the train station or however mode of transport I came in by, I learned where the hotel or where I was staying, where the squash club was, and where the nearest hospital was. They're
Wow.
the three things I always knew wherever I was going, in whichever country. And I was hospitalised in England, in Germany, pneumonias, life-threatening pneumonias, in intensive care. At one stage I was playing a tournament, got sick. I went in hospital for a week, intensive care. I was lying in that hospital ward in England thinking, am I going to make it home? Am I going to come home in a box? Week after, I was back playing a tournament because that's how
Wow.
resilient I was. I bounced back. And that
Wow.
was just, I'm a bouncer. No, I'm not going to let anything stop me. Nothing.
I love that drive and determination, and for I know, based on previous conversations and stuff. I mean, it had gotten to the point where your asthma medication had tripled. Right, you were taking 3 times the amount you've had. So literally, when you're carrying around a suitcase of medication, you were carrying around a suitcase of medication, I'm sure. And so, um, but everything changed for you at some point, right? Like you had did a course, I think it was back when you were 33, and so now you're a breathing coach and have been since 93. So kind of tell me about that transition and what impact that's had on your life.
Okay. Well, as I said, the asthma was becoming uncontrollable. I was semi-retired, and I had just had chronic fatigue as well. So I was struggling health-wise, and the asthma, whoa, I couldn't control it with the nebulizer every hour. and as you said, tripled my steroid dose. It was uncontrollable. And at that stage, all over the news, all over the TV, the print media, radio, TV, this miracle cure for asthma had come out of Russia. The Iron Curtain was just coming down, and so this Professor Buteyko had devised this breathing technique to help cure asthma. And it was about learning how to breathe properly through your nose, not through the mouth, eating and speaking, breathing and smelling, and learn how to retrain your breathing for your body's needs. Because what he discovered, he said that asthma, allergies, and a lot of other illnesses it's hidden hyperventilation. You're just over breathing. And so it's about bringing your over breathing, hidden hyperventilation. We can't, because, normally when people think of hyperventilation, you see someone having a panic attack or an anxiety attack. This is hidden hyperventilation, so you don't even know you're doing it. This kind of stuff. And this is your habitual breathing pattern. We have a breathing center in the stem of the brain, and it's like a thermostat. It controls your breathing. And for whatever, when you're upset, it can offset the breathing center. Many things can offset it. And biggest one is starting to breathe through your mouth. So he said that you have to reset it through a series of breathing exercises, breath holding, reducing your breathing, what we call now light breathing. This, for 4 days, an hour and a half each day, I went to this class. And I don't know if you've heard of it, but have you heard of the BOLT score? It's the oxygen level test, okay? It's about taking a breath in, taking a breath out, and holding your breath for however long you can hold it easily. It's a BOLT score. So, and those figures can correlate with, are you breathing badly? Is your breathing a problem? Are you healthy? Et cetera, et cetera. So my BOLT score, and it was called the control pause way back then. The BOLT score has only come into being since about 2015. They renamed it. Blood oxygen level test. That's what it stands for. So my BOLT score was about 4 seconds. So that means I was over breathing big time for a lot of people, actually. So anyway, I went through these exercises, an hour and a half each day. It wasn't easy for an asthmatic to hold their breath. My goodness, he's asking me to do something that I want to do. I have to do it. It's counterintuitive, counterproductive. I did it, and I've never looked back. It took me about another year and a half. That was 94. About another 2 years to slowly reduce the steroids, come off my nebulizer or not use it as much. I started to reduce my medication. Everything just changed, literally in that week, and everything shifted. It saved I can honestly say, it saved my life. I was going out the door. And I went back to my doctors. They did, I'm always having lung function tests. They just went, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I learnt it to how to teach it, because I just went, this is a miracle. And something as easy as changing your breathing and understanding what your body needs and how it needs to breathe, game changer. And not just for asthma, but for many other symptoms and illnesses as well. And I just find it fascinating, because when people come to class and, they're like this, they're all scared. You can see the fear on their faces. They don't know what to expect. And after the first day, they're still, second day, they're easing up. Third day, they're laughing away. Fourth day, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I could walk up the stairs. I didn't have to, I was reaching for the puffer, but no, I did the breath holding exercise. So it was there, the puffer was there, but oh no, everything shifted. Just people coming up and saying that to me. I said, yeah, I know. I understand, because I've been in your shoes. I know exactly how you felt. And that's why I like it. As I said, to help one other person to have a better quality of life, or to put a smile on their dial, to me, that is bigger than winning a championship, because winning a championship's for you. Okay, yeah, maybe for Australia as well. So I have to,
I'm sure they didn't mind. I'm sure Adidas didn't mind either.
That's exactly right. But when somebody else, you've shifted or helped someone else shift their life, given them a tool and resource to be able to help themselves and take back the power. That is what it's all
Hmm.
about for me now. And it
Hmm.
always has been, actually. To put a smile on someone's dial. My mum was really good at that. And I've inherited that. And to
Hmm.
me, I think my life purpose is to help others in whatever way I can through my experiences and what I've been through, and to maybe help them circumnavigate the mistakes. People are still going to make mistakes. That's how we learn. But maybe we can lessen or buffer those mistakes so they don't have to fall so hard.
Hmm.
But they know there's always a way up. When you're down at the bottom, and I have been down at the bottom, I've had hip replacements, as we talked about. I had septicemia. I was paralysed 3 weeks before my second lot of hip revisions. I've had heart attacks. I've had my spine fused when I was 29. I've had chronic fatigue. I was actually just diagnosed with Lyme disease and babesis. And I just gone, okay, okay, this is how what it is. This is how it is. Instead of going, oh, after about the initial, oh, okay, huh, okay, this is teaching me. This is revealing a lesson for me. What's the lesson in this for me to help me grow? And my philosophy is everything happens for a reason. And if we can see the gift of the lesson and the opportunity for growth, it doesn't have to last a long time. We don't have to be in that victim mode. We don't have to be sick. We can get out of that. It's a choice. Okay, there's the fork. Am I going to let this beat me and be the victim and say, oh, I'm not going to do anything else for the rest of my life? Or am I going to go, okay, this has happened for me, not to me. This has happened
Hmm.
for a reason. So again, I've always been very curious by nature. What if? What am I here for? What if? And now the question, I love this question. What if? What's this teaching me? What am I learning from this? What do I need to learn from this? What can I learn from this? How is this helping me to grow, expand, and evolve? I look at it that way because everything that happens for you is is helping you. It's not hindering you. But the question I ask, if somebody's doing something, say I'm coaching somebody with the breathing or with squash, is this helping you or hindering you? Is it helping you or hurting you?
Hmm.
Questions. And then when you ask those questions, when you're putting it out there, you're going to get some answers. Keep on asking the questions, you will get answers because you do have the answers. The answers are there in the quantum field. They are, and they're actually within us. We just need to ask the appropriate questions to bring them up. Those ha-ha moments or that intuition, that gut instinct never steers you astray.
Hmm. So how now that you have worked into this whole new world of helping people because of how you've learned how to overcome your own obstacles and helping people do that too, for somebody who doesn't struggle with asthma, I mean, we've heard of breathing and breathing techniques and how helpful they can be. But is there a go-to for really anybody, whether it's dealing with stress or, like I've got 3 young kids, and after a long day, I come in and like, they want to play, but they're also crazy, and it's easy to like cortisol levels to just spike, right? And so,
Absolutely.
so what do I do?
What do you do? Zach, this is what you do. Okay, just start breathing through your nose. Just start breathing. Focus on your breath. Focus on your breath. Just breathe it in gently, easily, and slowly to the bottom of your spine. Just do that 5 times. That's going to calm your sympathetic nervous system. Breathing is the key loophole, feedback loophole for the nervous system. Breathing is the nervous system regulator. Breathing tones your vagus nerve, which goes from the back of your eyes through to every organ. It's the longest nerve in your body. If that is not toned through breathing, your nervous system goes, we're always on fight or flight. So just by doing that alone, 5, 6 breaths, and if you want to count, you can actually close your eyes and
Okay.
I'm going to count you 4 seconds. So breathing in for 4, breathing out for 6, and holding for 2. And this is like it's a wave, a surf wave. This is your natural breathing rhythm at rest. So I'm going to count you in and see how you feel. Okay,
Okay.
so just breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath for 1. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 1. In for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 1. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 1. Breathe in 4, 3, 2, 1. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 1. Keep breathing. And now just imagine breathing in a beautiful white light. A beautiful white light tingling and warm into every cell of your body. And as you breathe out, just let go of any tension, any worry, any stress, any discomfort in your body. Just let it go. Breathe in the beautiful white light into every cell, every part of your body. Breathe out any tension, any stresses, anything that's worrying you. Just let it go with your out breath. Let it go. Allow yourself to let go of the tension. Breathe in that beautiful white light. Breathe it into your heart space. And now put your hand on your heart and just breathe in that beautiful white light into your heart space. And as you breathe out, just let go of any tension and any worry, any stress, any discomfort. Breathe in that beautiful white light into your heart space. Now just imagine there's a beautiful ball of that white light in your heart space. Now expand that out into every part of your body, into every part of your body, into every cell, expand it out. And now see that beautiful white light, that bubble of white light, expand out past you, and now it forms a bubble around you. Breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out, feeling relaxed, calm, energized and relaxed. And when you're ready, just open your eyes.
Wow. I mean, I've done breath work stuff before, but I mean, by like the second inhale, it was like I was feeling it just shed off very easily.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. You are totally switching on your parasympathetic nervous system, relaxation, digestion, and creation.
Hmm.
The breath is the key, as I said, the key to the nervous system. Either keeping you in fight or flight, or relaxing you. And you, like, say you're going to play a game of squash. Yes, you need to have that bit of stress, but if you're breathing well, you're ready, but not stressed out. You're
Hmm.
ready to do what you do, to create, to flow by breathing well, by breathing properly. You can go get into the flow state quite easily, the creative state. You're opening your with that breathing in and out through your nose, going deep into the lower lobes of your lungs. That's why I said to breathe into the lower part of your spine. Um, yes, breathe into the belly, but if you breathe into the lower part of the spine, you're actually utilizing your ribs, the intercostal muscles, which are your breathing muscles, as well as diaphragm, and you're breathing into your back as well. So you're using your whole core. You can actually get a really strong core just by doing breathing exercises, and that helps to relax you as well. But you're breathing into the core. bringing it down to the lower lobes where proper oxygenation occurs, where that oxygen on the protein of the blood cell, the hemoglobin, the CO2 comes along and releases it. So oxygen is that really oxygenated, high concentration of oxygenated blood is going into every cell and into your brain in particular. 25% of the body's oxygen needs is to your brain.
Hmm.
When you're playing sport, it's going to your working muscles, and your brain needs to be clear. It needs to be have clarity for whatever you're doing, so you can get in the flow state a lot easier. So that's why breathing is really good for stress management and also sports performance, pretty much anything and everything.
Hmm.
And with visualization, that's a creative visualization is very, very powerful. And with your breath, you can really be in that state of your imagination, be in that state of that visualization. You can shift your states of being very,
Hmm.
very quickly within 3, 4, 5 breaths, which is
Wow.
really cool, I think.
I think it's pretty cool too. It's funny you say that too. I mean, I just recently had gotten into running, endurance running, and it's it's very noticeable. Everybody talks about that runner's high and sort of that feeling that you get when your body switch. But like, I've noticed even for myself how it's easy to get into a meditative state because I am very conscious of my breathing, right? And I get into a rhythm, and it's like my mind clears, my body feels good. It's such an incredible feeling, and to duplicate that outside of fitness, but also within is powerful.
And that's you can anywhere, driving, even driving, you could do it anywhere and everywhere, and that's beautiful. I, I'd be glad to be your breathing coach for your running, because again, knowing how to breathe, so you've got your natural breathing state at rest. And what I found, with obviously being my own human guinea pig, because I do interval training, on the treadmill, I don't go outside. I was caught out once with having an allergic reaction, and no one stopped for me, so I don't run
Oh
outside
no.
unless I'm with some. Yeah, I ended up at hydrocortisone drip, in the hospital for 5 hours before a match.
Wow.
Sorry,
Goodness.
sorry.
What an adventure. Does that like you're like battling sickness and competing at such a high level is just fascinating to me. I don't
and and this is all about this. Then goes not just it's again. That's why I love the two: the breathing, the mindset, and now the very, very powerful tool, the visualization. The visualization, because it's about going into your, like Einstein said it beautifully, imagination is more powerful than knowledge, because imagination is limitless.
Hmm.
Limitless. Dream big. Dream big. Whereas knowledge, it is limited. But imagination, you're in your, what do you want to achieve? You can achieve anything. Dream big. And that's what my mum always used to say, dream big. So with this visualization, like I have helped students pass exams, pass an interview for a job.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Get better marks by creative visualization with the breathing and the shifting the mindset. And
Hmm.
then what we call is, like going I take what I do with this creative visualization, and even with the breathing and the mindset stuff, I take you into a theta brainwave, which is the brainwave direct access to your subconscious. So your subconscious is wide open. Like, it's whatever you tell your subconscious, it will believe it, negative or
Hmm.
positive. So it's you're now creating the pictures, and most people dream it or think in pictures. Very, very powerful, and that's why it's so good for sports people, visualizing you doing it. I started visualization very, very young. The dreams. I
Hmm.
dreamed of me being on a podium, winning the trophy, winning it. I've done that many times, winning the championship, knowing what it feels like. Actually, if you want to do a little bit of a visualization.
Why not? Let's go
Exactly.
for it.
Okay. What's something, and you don't have to tell me, what's something that what you really want or desire? What's something that you really want to achieve, or
Hmm.
doesn't matter
Well,
how big or small?
yeah, sure. I mean, I just
Yeah.
signed up for another race, so I would
Beautiful.
love to,
Okay.
yeah, love to have
Okay.
a better time this time.
A better time. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to come first?
Uh,
Or just want a better time?
better
What's the
time.
Okay, what's the time you desire? What's the time? Have that in your
Uh,
mind.
okay.
Have that in your mind, okay? Now, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay. And just take that breath in through your nose, into the bottom of your spine, gently, easily, and slowly. And breathe out any pressure, any fear, or any doubt, any self doubt that you can achieve what you desire. Just let go of any doubt. Anybody else's doubts or opinions or beliefs, just let them go too. They're theirs, they're not yours. You don't have to take them on board. Okay? Just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Now just imagine you finished that line. You've completed the race, you've finished. And you've looked up to the clock. Oh, wow, you've got the time. You've got the time that you've wanted. Wow, you've got that time. You just, how do you feel? Let those emotions of you seeing you've just down the time, your best time ever, your best time ever. What are the feelings you're feeling? Bring those feelings to the surface. Magnify those feelings. Everyone's coming up to you and saying, congratulations, Zach. It's great time, awesome. You're being congratulated left, right, and centre. Your kids are hugging you, daddy, daddy, you did it. What are those feelings? Bring them all up to the surface. Now magnify those feelings. Magnify them into every cell of your body. And magnify them 10 times again and 10 times again. Now give them a colour. All those wonderful feelings, give them a colour. And see that colour in every cell, every part of your body. Now expand that colour outside of your body. And it's like it's a bubble that it envelopes you. Now expand that bubble out into the room you're in. Expand it out into the city you are in. Expand it out further. All those wonderful feelings, you're expanding them out and out and out into and onto the whole planet. Expand that colour out again. Now expand it up into the sky, out into the universe. Breathing in, breathing out. Feeling wonderful, feeling strong, feeling powerful, feeling fit and fast. Achieving that achievement that you've just done, that you've got. What you've just achieved. Wow, awesome. How does it feel? Really feel those feelings and put them out into the universe. What you focus on expands. Expand it out. Now breathe those feelings back in. Breathe that colour back in. Breathe that colour out. Breathe that colour of all those feelings in and breathe it out. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Feeling wonderful, feeling strong, feeling content, feeling fulfilled, feeling at peace, feeling relaxed and calm. And when you're ready, just open your eyes.
Hmm. It feels it feels different. I definitely feel that sense of like, oh man, like I can definitely accomplish that. While I was going through it, I I felt myself feeling the doubt of like,
Brilliant, brilliant.
you're not going to do it, or
Excellent, great. Because what we do, that's called future pacing or quantum leaping. We
hmm,
bring the future into the now. So it's a great one, you'll either feel it wholly and take it on board, or the beliefs that are holding you back will
hmm,
surface.
hmm,
And that's what we want to work on. So when I'm working with the client, I'll do that. Okay, what was coming up? You just said it beautifully. So where's that doubt really coming from? So we work on that. What we call dig on that. In NLP, we call chunking it down. Where's the bottom belief where that first doubt of
hmm,
yourself came from? Or did it come from you or somebody else? Then we start the mindset work and the spiritual coaching work. We're digging
hmm,
on. And spiritual coaching isn't about, it's about the essence of you. It's you being your truest self, the best self. And we start to dig on the beliefs that are holding you back, wherever they may have come from. So, like your father, anybody could have said to you when you were a young kid wanting to do something, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you'll never do that. Oh, don't be stupid. That seed of doubt was planted in you somewhere
Mm.
along the line, along your timeline. And what we can do is we can go back to the very first time, identify it, release it, and put in new beliefs.
Mm.
And then we will do that meditation again. What else is coming up? Is anything else coming up? So we keep on repeating that until you are one with that.
Mm. That's
That's the
cool.
power of visualization. And then it's doing other things as well to bring up what is holding you back, what's stopping you. Because we do have fears, and a lot of the times it's not ours. Or, then we start to go in now that logical mind, which is irrational a lot of the times. I can't do that. Oh, no, well, I can't really do that. No, I haven't trained hard enough. Blah, 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 blah. I've gone in a lot of times when I've been injured or been sick. I can remember one time I was playing with pneumonia. I had a box of
Oh,
tissues at the front of the court so I could blow my nose.
oh my word.
But, oh, yeah, I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. But, look, I did push myself a lot. But I did challenge myself. But I don't know, this drive. Look, did I do it? Yes. Did it hurt me? I don't think so, because one, it really showed how resilient I am. But also I learned, like when you're having an anxiety attack, the last thing you want to do is start to breathe. Or, close. If someone is having a panic attack, say, can you smell that? Can you smell that? Oh, geez, can you smell that? They'll start to go, what they're doing is starting to bring their breathing into control or under control, and they'll start calming down. It's a really
Mm.
clever, very, very unique way of bringing somebody out of a panic attack. Or what you can do is you can panic with them, or not panic, control panic. Put hand on the shoulder, normally hand on the shoulder or a finger on the shoulder, and you can start bringing them down just by panting like a dog. And to bring it down, because you're speeding the breathing up. Because it's one thing, we have feelings, emotions, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, our thoughts, what we say, and how we breathe. There are four things we have total control over. We can speed up our breathing, we can slow it down, make it deeper, shallower, whatever. There are four things we have total control over. So that's pretty powerful. And when you know how to take back your control, if you're going down the negative path, no, stop, no, I'm not going down, no. You can just literally say, no, and think of something, recall a time when you're really happy, or just think of something that makes you happy. You're shifting your state of being very quickly. Get a visual, get an image in your mind when you're, whatever it may be. It's straight away shifting your state of being to get you out of that energy of the negativity and putting you into a neutral energy or a positive energy, if that makes sense.
It does. I love it. Well, look, we're up on time here, and I mean, I appreciate just the wisdom and insights and experiences that you've shared with us today. If somebody wants to get in contact with you, what would be the best way to do that?
Best way, just shoot me an email, themindbreathingedge@gmail.com.
Perfect. Well, good, and
Or
we'll have
Alexia
that.
Clonda
Yeah,
@gmail.com. Whichever.
just Google. Yeah,
Just Google me. Very
just
good.
Google me.
That's right. I do
So
have a
yeah,
website coming up soon. It will be
good.
Mind Breathing Edge. Yes.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, we'll have that pop up and put it in the description and stuff too. And I mean, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure, and just very grateful for walking me through that process, but also sharing your own vulnerabilities and what you've had to go through to get here.
Now, as I said, we're human. Our vulnerability is our strength as well.
I agree with that.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks.
And thank all of you for joining us today. As always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hear what we have to say and hear what Alexia had to say here too. So please like, subscribe, share. If there's anybody that you know that could benefit from breathing techniques or anything, this is the place to find it. And you can reach Alexia as well to work on those things. And as always, keep elevating and accelerating. So I'll talk with you soon. Cheers.